Greetings, everybody. How you doing? It's your boy, Brian Pulido, on Thursday, December 21st. I am here, and we're doing Beer with Brian. You'll notice I have no beer. I am in the skeleton of what will be the Coffin Comics company store at New HQ. So we're very bare bones. You won't even recognize this place when we open it up to the public for Swornfest, February 23, 24, 25. So this program, Beer with Brian, is a program of the Coffin Comics Sworn Club. And usually we'd have the banner here, but we just moved into HQ. So we're still getting orientated. Now, if you're a member of the Sworn Club, and I encourage you to do that, there's some advantages. First of all, you get a really cool welcome kit. And then secondarily, you have a 24-hour advantage over the rest of the world when it comes to news about Coffin Comics, and you get a 1-hour advantage in the great majority of the Coffin Comics promotions that happen through our store, coffincomicsshop.com. Now, this is an informal conversation where you have an opportunity to ask questions and answers. And I am utterly unprepared because it's been a very unique time with Coffin Comics because we moved out of old HQ, we moved into new HQ. Like a lot of people in the world, we faced some logistical challenges, some personnel challenges, but we're here. And we have actually one more working day. And then Coffin Comics is going to take off from about the 22nd to the 2nd of January. And that's one of those rare occasions where I go radio silent. You won't hear from me. And myself and my lovely wife are going to be reconnect as human beings instead of mechanisms in the machine that we created, Coffin Comics. So feel free to ask any questions. Coffin Comics is not like, the last week of Christmas people wind down. It's like, I don't believe in that. I believe in working till 5 o'clock on Friday, then the holiday begins. So I promise you, I've been rocking things out. You even hear you can even hear construction happening because it is happening in different elements of the facility. In any event, I pontificate. So if you want to ask any questions related to Coffin Comics, I'm into it.
So Stone Zombie wants to know, where's Julian the Hooligan and what happened to the Catacombs show?
Hi man, how you doing? So Julian the Hooligan is no longer with Coffin Comics. We parted ways with Julian back, I think it's September. And the Coffin Catacombs is on sabbatical as we retool it and reintroduce it in 2025. Wish Julian the best in his new adventure.
Ryan Silverman wants to know, can you do a trade paperback of the first 3 issues of Hell Witch? And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Well, we are not currently planning to do trade paperback format of Hell Witch, and what we're sticking with is what we call the Premier Edition, that main edition, which is 48 pages and square bound. So that's our intention.
We've got a few people watching the show here. We got Bill McCrae.
Hey, Bill, how are you, pal?
Got Scott No.
Scott, how are you?
Ernesto,
what's up?
Leave Me Alone is here.
We'll leave you alone.
Let's see. Scott No saying, also enjoying some downtime. I'm off until the 2nd of January too.
Wow, man. Congratulations. That's awesome. Yeah, looking forward to going to be visiting family, and then we're going to go on a little vacation. That's what we're doing. So in pop culture, feel free to ask any questions. In pop culture, I've actually watched Survivor since the beginning. They just wrapped up season 45 last night, and it was fun. I find all the twists and turns unique, sort of like human chess. I love it. And then also on Paramount Plus, they just wrapped up season 15 of Ink Master, which is the tattoo competition. Watch that. Loved it. Fantastic. Some really outrageously talented people on there. So that's what we've been watching. And yeah, what else? I can't say it. Let's see, any movies or anything. Usually we've been having some long days, as probably maybe a lot of folks. So we kind of get home, have a drink, eat dinner, and then go to bed.
So what can you tell us about the move? How long did it take to move from?
Well, so to prepare for the move and to pack things up, it actually took close to a month of not even spare time. It would be nights, weekends. The Pulido archive had about 500 objects in it. And so Scott No, who's watching, our friend Coop, and I boxed the great majority of the material up. Then I transported it off-site to a storage facility because it's all delicate stuff. Then additionally, we hired movers simply to move all our furniture. That took one 26-foot truck trip. And then all of us were packing boxes. And then the entire Coffin Comics crew, we all became movers or cleaners, and that took about 2 working days. It took something like in the area of 6 20-foot truck trips. We also had a Penske truck. I have no idea how many trips. So it took a while. It took probably hundreds of hours and a lot of man hours to get everything here. And then, of course, like it took about a day or two then to stage it generally where it's going. But it will actually take until February 23rd to decorate. So that's like adding all the decorations and getting the archive ready for Sworn Fest. That's actually planned to be 2 months.
Yeah, Bill McCrae saying he's looking forward to 2024 Sworn Fest.
I am stoked, man, and welcome. I'm happy you're coming out.
What's your favorite Halloween or Christmas themed horror movie?
Well, that's interesting. Well, I mean, I like Nightmare Before Christmas. It's probably a fantasy. It's not really horror. I do like, there's a great one I like. It's called Frankenstein Conquers the Martians. And that actually does take place on Christmas, if I remember it correctly. I think Pia Isadora is in it. It's super obscure, 70s. Interestingly enough, I haven't seen a ton. Like I haven't seen, I've seen Black Christmas back in the day, Silent Night, Deadly Night. So yeah, I don't know. My love of horror is so specific, man. I mean, it's like I'll see most things, but I really, really love what I call invasive species horror. It's like when human beings get taken over, turn into zombies, or some strange species comes and starts taking people over. It's kind of my favorite. So things like, it's probably not the first thing I'm going to do is see, every like stalker and slasher kind of movie. They're all right.
Stolen Zombie wants to know, does Lady Death age at all, or is she ageless?
Lady Death, from everything that we can see, is near immortal. Because if you count on her continuity, she has been existing in her current adult form since about the year 1212 or thereabouts.
Okay, let's see. So Brian Curry wants to know, if a B movie from the 70s and 80s look at an updated version today, what would you like to see remade in this era?
So many great ones. Dear Lord. Yeah, I still think they could do a better job on Death Race 2000, for example. I love this movie I was talking to everybody about called Panic in the Year Zero with Ray Milland. I think Frankie Avalon is in it too. And the reason I brought it up is there's recently a movie on Netflix called Leave the World Behind. And I watched it and I enjoyed it, but honestly, nothing really happened. And I was referencing this movie, Panic in the Year Zero, saying, man, that would be that's a real good movie to see if you want to see something similar, but things really happen. So in that story, Ray Milland and his family are going camping, but while they're leaving the Los Angeles area, there's a nuclear bomb goes off, and they do have to escape to try to get some sanctuary. And then other people start leaving LA, and of course, a lot of bad, nefarious people. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So I like that one. There was a movie from the 70s. It was made in Australia called The Quiet Earth. And it's definitely one of those Last Man on Earth stories. And it was amazing. I would love to see that remade. I would love to see the movie Them remade, which, if you remember, was about giant ants underground in Los Angeles. I mean, it's been a long time since we've had a good quality giant ant movie. And if you think about it, I don't know that we've ever seen a great one. Because, but with today's technology, it could be scary as hell. Just those hives and moving in swarms like they did in World War Z. So this is a topic where I could just keep going on, because those are some of the ones I would like to see. What else? What else was coming to my mind? 70s. Yeah, those would be some fun ones.
Eric Hart is saying, I don't have a question, but I just wanted to say I'm very excited to meet you, the Coffin crew, and members of the Sworn Nation. Sworn Fest can't come soon enough.
Right on, man. I love you counting down the days. I'm looking forward to meeting you as well, Eric. We'll have a good time.
Leave Me Alone Please says, what about Pumpkinhead? You like that movie?
Oh, yeah, I do like Pumpkinhead. That's cool. Yeah, Pumpkinhead's fun. I like creature features are great, man. Creature features are always fun. Everything from Alien to the original It, the Terror from Another World. I love all that stuff. Alien. And it's not easy to do. For the longest time, I was feeling like all the current creature designs, maybe from the last 10 years, it seems like they've all come out of the same shop. And the creatures don't seem as scary. So when independent filmmakers go make a creature feature, I feel like we all have a better shot at seeing a scary monster.
Solomon wants to know, what if Lady Death got revenge on the villagers that burnt her at the stake?
Yeah, that's food for thought. Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you read Lady Death: The Rapture in that first 6-page sequence, she did a very good job at getting revenge on Father Orbeck, who basically made her nanny's life hell, and led to the death of her nanny. So yeah, it's a thing.
Eric does have a question. What is your guilty pleasure when it comes to music? We all have one.
Well, let me admit to you, I am a huge music fan. Probably everyone knows me as like a metalhead classic rock guy, but I adore all sorts of music. I actually don't have much apologies for it, but the band that I adore that probably would be considered a guilty pleasure is Sparks. So I've loved and adored this band since about 1974, if you could believe it. And the best way to describe them is they're an art rock band. So I love Sparks. Sparks would be definitely one of the guilty pleasures.
David wants to know, will there be another Lady Death anime movie?
I don't know really what is the future of Lady Death in media. We'll see. There's nothing really right now on the horizon. In the new year, we will have a great announcement for Lady Death in another entertainment platform, but I can't say anything more about it.
Matt S. wants to know, how's it going with New HQ? How's it coming along?
A new HQ is coming along great. You'll notice like I'm showing you very little, like this is gonna be our store, but it's coming along great. Everything's on track, on schedule. Maybe you could even hear like people are working on it in the background. So we are in HQ, the fulfillment area and the publishing area, we are working in it, but there are other elements of HQ like our archive and our warehouse and our lounge where work continues. But we'll be ready to show it to the public February 23rd, 4th, and 5th during Swornfest, the Coffin Comics convention happening here in Mesa, Arizona.
Bill saying the only genre movie I ever walked out of was the Australian flick Dead End Drive-In. Anything you ever walked out of?
Oh, that's interesting. It's funny. I'm one of those people like I want to see it walk out of. There have been books where I'm like a third of the way into the book and I can't stand it, but I'll read it to the end just because I gotta complete the work or something. So I don't know if I've done that. Nothing really comes to my mind.
Dave wants to know any plans for La Morta anime or movie series.
Probably unbeknownst to the general population, a major studio stepped up and had La Muerta in development for a period of time. I'm not going to name names, but it was a fun ride. It was for about 3 years, and we were kind of close. Big names involved, but ultimately nothing came out of it. So we'll see what the future holds.
Miguel wants to know, can we get a new set of Lady Death letter openers, please?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I tell this to everybody. Our core competency is we tell comic book stories, we put ink on paper, and we either glue that paper or staple it. And that's what we love to do, and that's our core competency. Sometimes going outside of that, like we do make statues and action figures, but going out and making other things, it's better for us if we could team up with someone who's already an expert in that. We've already learned how to do things we've never thought we'd do before. Acrylic figures, challenge coins, and things that people really enjoy. So that's us stretching our boundaries. But like I don't know about like a paper opener. If someone wants to do it, they're like a real company, that really do business, we'd hear them out. But I don't know if I'm going to go out of my way for that.
Brian Perry wants to know, any chance of getting licensed IP like you did with Chaos?
Yeah, I actually have zero interest in it. I don't have interest in, it's sort of like having a boss. And what I love more than anything is not having a boss. Whereas I had a great time either writing or publishing all that licensed IP, but I kind of had a boss and I just don't like the feeling. So there is one that I would consider. I'm not going to say what it is. It's right there, and I would consider putting up with a boss maybe for one because of my love of the thing, but generally I don't see it. Now I do see collaborations. So like we did with Lady Death and Zombie Tramp coming together. That was cool. I consider that a collaboration. So I'm open to more collaborations, but as far as like licensing IP to make, it's not my bag anymore.
All he wants to know, Is there still no number 2 at New HQ?
Well, there's good news, everybody. We now have beautiful exterior bathrooms, and although we don't encourage it, it's possible.
So Mr. Goat wants to know, well, he says, Dear Santa Brian, I'd like to see a mini or one-off in the theme of What If, where Empress Death returns to our Earth and not Lady Death.
Oh, that's cool. Well, let me tell you a couple things. I love the What If concept, the Elseworlds concept, as I'm sure many of us do. And we will be spending a year on those types of stories in the near future. And then number 2, I also love Empress Death, and I do have a storyline plan for her return. It's not going to be like you see how much story we do. I'm pretty much plotted out for about the next 5 years beyond here, and we could not resist bringing back Empress Death. I mean, if you read the story, she ain't dead, but yeah, we got to bring her back, and I know how, and I think you will be thrilled and tantalized.
We got time for one more here.
One more.
This is for Russell.
Hi, Russell.
Saying, I missed the Imperial Requiem Kickstarter. When will phase 1 of the Coffin Comic Shop premiere be?
Well, okay, so Imperial Requiem is due to ship in early January, or I'm sorry, the month of January. It's going to take us a great period of time in January to get it out. And then once people receive it, about 6 weeks to 8 weeks after, we will begin offering the premiere editions and other editions. All right, folks, I want to thank you so much for joining me for this program called Beerless with Brian here in the bare bones of our store. I want to wish you and yours a very happy holiday season. I want to thank you for the finest, most outrageous year for Coffin Comics. And all I got to tell you is get ready. 2024 for Coffin Comics is going to be next level. I am not exaggerating. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because it's going to be quite a ride. So thank you so much, everybody. You've been great. I've been Brian Pulido. Talk to you in the new year.
Swarmfest, Swarmfest, Swarmfest. Swarmfest, the global gathering for Coffin Comics Fiend and the Swarm, featuring exclusive party, artist, signings, commission, panels, beer, food, coffee, alcohol, tours of HQV2, trading posts, CGC, friendship, community, camaraderie, shenanigans, insanity, and more.
Plan ahead. Be there.
Tickets and details on sale now at CoffinComicShop.com. Presented by Coffin Comics.